that down below. Put on my fursuits and stuff. Hello guys. Let me just get everything. Oh, wrong way. That's better. Okay. Hello guys, and welcome to another Talking with Dashing Foxie. Today's show is going to be very important for some people out there who have a lot of problems like I do. I have a lot of problems with this exact topic, so hopefully it teaches you some stuff that can help you out. I just got to make sure the comments. Wow. You certainly have a lot of comments, and I didn't even start yet. Ah, interesting. Okay, let's see. Let me just try to find where we're at here. And I gotta move that down. Okay. I missed your cute self. Well, thank you. Okay. So, welcome to another Talking with Dashing Foxie. Before we start this, make sure if you always like what you see on my show, go ahead, share it around to your friends. You know, that'd be great. You can always add me on Patreon, you know, sponsor my show, and you'll be a chance to win on the Wheel of Dashing prizes. Whenever I get enough subscribers, enough Patreons, I will definitely do that for you guys. And like it, press the like button down there, and comment if you want to comment or give concerns for different things. So, guys, today we are going to be talking about anxiety in introverts, which I know on my thing I couldn't really put being an introvert because unfortunately it's hard to write a lot on that. But today we are going to talk about that, find the definition of it, and see some steps that you can take on maybe helping your self-esteem and confidence, because that's what a lot of problems is. In my fursuit, I can talk very well to people. I'm quite well at it, like right now, but if I was out of fursuit, I'd be going habada 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 hoo. So a lot of times confidence and other things like that gets in the way when it comes to being an invert and having anxiety. So we're going to take a look at some of the things, or what's the definitions of them, and, you know, try to maybe make sense of some of this inverts and, you know, anxiety and stuff like that. So I looked up the definition. Everyone can do it. They can Google it, which that's exactly what I did. I did it the lazy way. Not really the lazy way, but, you know, the way I usually do it. So let's start with anxiety. So basically I read what anxiety was, and it's basically this. Okay, now let's say I have a real problem talking to people. I really do. Also, I get scared of a lot of things. Like, I'll give you an example. Let me get rid of all this stupid Telegram crap. I completely forgot I had that up there. My fault. But, so, basically, it's this. You get a sense of urgency and scariness. So, like, whenever I'm scared of bees, I have a real problem with bees. I was breathing heavy. I was really, you know, sweating. I couldn't really talk straight, and I was literally petrified through it. And that's kind of how I got this episode idea. I was really scared of the bees, and I have really bad anxiety problems. Also have anxiety attacks. So, that's what anxiety is. Now, being an invert or an introvert, which is basically that thing that makes you scared on talking to people. Now, it's not just talking to people, it's I call it a fear. I always have a fear when it comes to actually if people like me. I have a huge fear of this, and I think this is what causes a lot of anxiety, is the fear to fail. Like, I'll be in a room with a bunch of my friends, and let's say I say a bad joke. And now in my mind, I'm already thinking that everyone hates me because that was an awful joke. It's the fear of people. It's the fear of, you know, you don't want to disappoint them. There's a lot of fears when it comes into being an invert. Now, being an invert and anxiety go hand in hand. I always have the problem of talking to somebody, and then I get a little bit of an anxiety, like just a little, but not like too much, but because I can somewhat handle it, luckily. And when I'm in my fursuit, it's even better because they don't see my face. So, here, let me switch over to where I'm at here, if I can find my mouse. I'm not the greatest on seeing here, so again, you're gonna have to apologize for my lack of seeing skills. So let's switch back over to here, and let's see if we have any comments and questions so far on this. Okay, wow, you got a lot of comments going on. I'm liking it. Okay, so basically, here's what it is, right? Being an invert makes it hard for me to actually talk to people and have a nice conversation. If I go up to somebody, 9 chances out of 10, I'm going to say hello, but I'm going to freeze and stand there and go, what do I say now? Okay, so I've got a little bit of tips for you when it comes to this. I did a little bit of research online. I looked at a couple things. I even asked a person who would know this. So we're going to try to get over the fear of talking to people. Now, it's really hard, and I'm not going to say these are all steps that you can take and it's going to be the best thing that you can possibly do. Okay? So I'm not going to say that right now because unfortunately it might not be the greatest for you. What works for me, what's not going to work for you. And anxiety, I have other tips for that too, but let's see if we have any comments right now, and we can definitely keep talking about this and getting better educated on what anxiety is and what is introvert. Okay, so let's see if we have any comments right now. I really got to get rid of this. Let me alert set background. Can I do that? I can do that. Background notifications. See, there you go. Okay, that's stupid and whatever. Okay, now, see if we have any comments before I go on. Any reason between you two? Any relation between you two? See, can we do it? Black man, you are a beautiful anime eye. Thank you, I appreciate that, Mr. Alphas. He's got Windows 7. I do got Windows 7. I don't have Windows 10. I don't like Windows 10. Okay, so basically you guys talking, don't worry. Okay, so, now, here's what I'm going to say, okay? So let's figure out the steps on what happens whenever I'm talking to somebody, and I first get the problem of saying hello, okay? I'm not that great at saying hello. I rarely say hello, unless if I'm in my fursuit and you see me and it's a completely different person, and because of the simple fact, I do this, I ramble, okay? So, rambling is one of those things that I do a lot when I have the problem of it. Let me just turn off my, my sound of this computer, or it's going to be listening to Telegram all day, and I can't stand that. Okay, so, basically, you have a couple steps, okay? So, number one, I go up to somebody and I try to say hello, but it doesn't come out that fluently. So, and if I do, I start to ramble. I don't think when I talk to people. And it becomes a huge problem because there has been times that where I've said the wrong thing to people because I don't understand how to really communicate with them the best. So, also, what I do when I'm trying to talk to people, or I always say it's about 2 to 3 extra people come in, and I get like frozen, and I start to really like think about it, and I feel like don't belong. I feel like a background character, as I always say, and you don't feel that great when you have the problem of that. So here's some steps that I do. Okay, now again, I'm going to take phone calls later so you can maybe help me, you know, maybe get them a little bit better to it. Okay, and where the anxiety comes in is I start to really I start to think about it way too much, and then my heart rate goes up, and it's not a pleasant scene whenever I'm trying to talk to a group of people. This is why I want more people to watch my show, but I am terrified if a lot of people know me, because I'm going to pass out unless if I have this on. This being on is different. I'm a very different person when I'm on this. So, now, what I do whenever I have anxiety, number one, when I'm going up to somebody, okay, I think about what I'm going to say before I say it. Now, introverts have the problem of always thinking that you're going to say it wrong, and then you're going to be a terrible person if you say it accidentally in the wrong phrasing. So what I usually do, and again, this is only me, this isn't you, you could be a whole different person, and everybody has their different persons out there, is I like speaking into a mirror. Okay, and I know it sounds weird, I know it sounds awkward, you're just speaking into a mirror, you're talking to yourself, but talking to myself really helps me out, because it kind of gives me the opportunity to be like, okay, I know they're not going to like what I say about that, and I know they're not going to like what I say about that. So, talking into a mirror gets me prepared to face somebody else who is different than me. Okay, now again, this could not work for you. This is just my steps that I take whenever I have introverts. So I go to a lot of cons. So I have a lot of problems trying to speak to people who are new. So, okay, so number one is taking a look in the mirror. Number two, what I usually do is I calm down and I say, not everything's not against me. The world is not against me. I might be an introvert, but I don't think everybody should be against me. Now, that mind frame set is really hard to do, because I mean, it still doesn't work for me, because I think if I say again the wrong joke, I'm going to be persecuted by my peers, and you shouldn't think that way. It's hard not to think that way, and I know this. I know it's really hard to not think this way, but if you get yourself into the right set of mind, it might help you get into the way of, okay, I'm not going to think everyone's against me. Okay? So, this will try to get you into that right set of mind. And again, it's hard, it really is, but if you try to just put it into your mind that the world is not against you, and it sometimes seems like it is, you know? You make a wrong joke, they're not talking to you, you're not getting really any feedback to them, is hard to do that. So let's see if we have any more comments here before we move on. I wish I was more like Johnny. I has no fear. Hey, what's up? Crystal, hey, how's it going? Okay, let's see. Anybody else? Okay, so first is a mirror. You can talk to the mirror, get well known to the mirror, and just start talking to yourself. Think about what you're going to talk about. Number two is, again, the trying to get the right mindset. Telling yourself everything's good. If I make a mistake, nobody's going to be against me, because it's all about the right mindset. Okay? Confidence is a key factor when it comes to being an invert. I have problems with my confidence level, that where if I make a mistake, there's going to be problems. Okay, so let's say I'm walking into the lobby, and I'm with a bunch of furries. Now, furries to me are easier to talk to. If you want to try to get around being a problem, it would probably be a person that has the same exact likes as you. So, before approaching this person, and I'm scared out of my mind. I'm even scared just thinking about it right now. I'm like tetrified right now in my mind thinking about it. what I will do, I will come up with a list of questions that I know that they're going to like. Okay? Now, this will get an ease into the, it'll break the ice, as I always like to say. Now, breaking the ice could be, oh, I love your fursona. I love the colors on your suit. I think that, you look rather dashing, or anything like that. Because it's a common interest and common denominator. And that's why it's so hard for people to talk to normal people, because of the simple fact that they are not exactly the same as you. And I think that's a huge problem, because when I'm at the supermarket, which I am blessed that I am in the seafood department. I know my seafood like the back of my hand. And I can talk to people about seafood because I know it so well. But if I'm talking about some sort of thing that I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to feel like a total idiot. And it's a mindset thing. You get into a thought that, okay, I'm not here. I need to go. I need to go right now. And there has been plenty of times that every time I go up to somebody that I don't have that much in common, I usually go, I want to go. I don't want to be here anymore. I just want to go. And it scares the crud out of me thinking of that. Literally, right now, I'm thinking about it and I'm not liking it. So let's see if we have any more comments and see what we have to say about this. And then we're going to keep going with some more techniques about normal people, about people who are not furries, how you can interact with them. So let's see. You can also practice with someone how to talk to someone. True, very true. It's like an interview. I was very introvert until I took speech class. I'm still introvert, but speech was really helpful into it. Because, again, speech is all about thinking. If you think that somebody's going to hate you, in your mind, they're going to hate you. And that's the problem. It's a mental block. It's a mental block in talking to people. And it's the hardest thing to get over. People go, oh, well, just get over it. You can't just get over it. Being an introvert is hard to get over. But you can do it if you take simple steps to try to help yourself to improve it. You can improve it. You can't completely get rid of it, but you can improve it. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to get you to improve it. So let's see if we have any more comments here. I can't wait for the second hangout. Foxie, that'd be great. See anything else here? We got a hey. I already said hello to him. Okay, we got really nothing in the comments so far, but, okay. So normal people, talking to normal people that are non-furries. Now, this is where I get, petrified. Because I don't have the common interest in most people. I can't go and talk about hockey to everyone. I can't go and talk about being a furry to everyone. So what I always do is if I want to talk to somebody that, who's non-furry and really to get a good understanding, is number one, you ask, I always start with two things. What's up? What's up is a universal breaker of ice. It's not the breaker of ice, but it kind of gets right into it. That where you're not going, oh my gosh, I'm overthinking this and being distressful. How are you doing? Another topic that, everyone needs to know how everybody's doing. That's how a lot of people communicate. They start out with that. Now, the second thing, okay, I notice if I have a common interest. Let's say you have a shirt and it has Minnesota Wild on it. I can try to work around that, saying, those Minnesota Wild, they're going to do great this year. Or if I see a band that you might like that I like, that where we can actually communicate first before getting into the real questions. So I'll give you a perfect example. I have Furry Bowl meets, okay, here in New Jersey, which I'm not plugging myself, but October 13th is my next one, so no, I'm kidding. But so here's what I did. I walked up to the guy on the counter, and I have a problem with talking to people sometimes if I don't know them. And first thing I did was I said, "What's up?" And he said, "Well, I'm doing pretty good." Then I instantaneously noticed something that I liked. So I went for, he was wearing a band shirt. I can't remember exactly which band it was, but I remember him wearing a band shirt. So I said, "Oh, I like that band. Oh, that's good, that's good." Okay, so this breaks the ice, trying to relax your nerves. It's all trying to relax your nerves so you're not going to have that panic attack. So then you go into the real questions after breaking the ice and going, "I want to purchase a bowling lane for my fur meet." Now, this brings up a lot of thinking in my mind that, oh my gosh, this guy's going to be like asking me, "What's a furry? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? He's going to make me I'm going to look like an idiot." But here's what it is. You have to prepare for that situation. That's where the mirror comes in. And you go, "Oh yeah, furries? Oh, I can show you a picture. I have that on my phone. Yeah, I could do that. Totally." That's where I talk into the mirror. So in my mind, I'm talking what I'm saying, and I'm thinking of what I'm saying, so I'm trying not to get the two intermixed. I hope I'm making sense here, because I think sometimes I don't make sense that well, but I'm really trying to. So you're talking to the other person, and you're thinking of what you said in the mirror. And you can get that bridge connection. Now, there will be certain emotions that might trigger your anxiety. I always say it's the emotion of the feelings are what it really comes down to. If the person sounds, "Oh, I don't know," well, that's going to trigger me more than the person going, "Well, yeah, sure, you could definitely do that." Because all about emotion. So let's say if the guy does, "Yeah, that's great," I'm going to be more excited to tell him what's going on. So if he doesn't do that, I'm going to be panicking in my mind. So here's what I always do. The mental set of it, and that's step 2 in my thing, is get yourself prepared for not the best answer. And why I'm saying this is because instead of trying to, cope with the situation going, "Oh, well, I got furries," because I do that a lot too. I stutter a lot too. I have a problem with stuttering. So what I do is I say, okay, if he doesn't like the idea at first, it's not going to get me down. And I'm saying this all through the car. I'm saying this while I'm going up there. So, and my hands are kind of shaking right now just thinking about this. So what I do is I try to prepare myself mentally to go, okay, just because he might not say it perfect, I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm not going to let it get me down. So, and this, again, is not, everybody can't just do this and be in there and stuff like that. It takes a little bit of practice to do, and that, and also, there might be other ways to do it. So if your way is better, I'm hoping you call in later and tell me which way you do. So let's go to some of these comments and try to figure out it. And if you are liking this, please hit the subscribe button down there and the like button, because I gotta make a living somehow. No, I'm kidding. I don't make a living off it. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Any other questions? If you practice the action one step at a time. Exactly. And that's what I mean. You're practicing the steps one at a time. You're getting yourself mentally prepared for this situation. Because you can. If it's a no doubt situation that you can get prepared for, prepare for it. Relax yourself, especially in interview places too. But we'll get to interviews and we'll get to all the other anxiety-filled things. Okay, so let me get back to the story that I was saying. So this guy, luckily, he sounded thrilled about my idea to have a fur bowl at the Laurel Lanes, as I like to call them, because that's their name, obviously. So he said, yeah, you can do it. I just need you to pay the money and all that other wonderful stuff. So I'm getting in, paying my money, and then my mind like just goes, you know, it's still on 50. I'm still running at a 50 brace, you know, hoping that, you know, nothing like his manager comes in or some other person comes in and goes, oh, I don't like that. Luckily, everything turned out good and we all sailed along. Now, the day of the meet, I'm getting everything prepared. I'm getting everything ready. And they're telling me that there might be an issue, and I'm going, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Luckily, the issue was taken care of, and the person who was taking charge of it took care of it. But that's where my anxiety came in and stuff like that. So, let's see. No comments right now, but okay. So, very first step to invert is, number one, talking into a mirror. This is what I do, and hopefully this will work for you. Number two is thinking that you're going to be okay. The world is not against you. Just keep saying that. The world is not against you. You're not going to go in there and create drama. So, just remember that. Okay, number three to the invert, try to find a common ground. If you can find that common ground by just, you know, relaxing, you have something to talk about, break the ice, is what I always say. And then come up with breaking the ice and then asking your questions that might be pertinent to this situation. Or potent. Potent? Is that the right word? Potent? Whatever. So, basically, that's what I do in the 3 steps. And I keep repeating myself over and over again. I know, but I'm just deathly afraid of thinking about this because I have anxiety. Well, not anxiety, but I'm an invert too. So, except for when I'm in fursuit, and then I'm a little bit better, and I can calm my nerves a little bit and stuff like that. So, let's see if we have, because it's true. Okay, so, now, again, just remember, this is all a mind thing. Extroverts, or the person who's the opposite of the introverts, they seem a little bit more confident. So, here's what I'm going to tell you. Build your confidence too. If you build your confidence, it will help you in the long run. Now, I don't mean, you know, let's see, going up to somebody and bragging to their face like, yeah, I won a championship. No, don't do that. But here's what you have to do. Get a hobby. I always say, I like hockey. So I'm pretty confident about hockey. So it makes me a little bit more confident if I think about hockey. So, like, let's say if you like cars and you're really good at cars. Keep that in mind. You're confident about cars. You can talk about cars. You know, get the conversation going with a confidence builder. Because the more confidence you have, the better chance of you talking better in a conversation. So confidence is key. And that's why you do the world's not against me. Because it's all about confidence. So, okay, now let's say if I'm going through this and I'm having introverse problems and my anxiety is starting to act up. This happened to me about, I'd probably say about a year ago, and it was the worst I've ever had it. Okay, so I was trying to talk to somebody I really like just a really good friend. I mean, he hasn't really talked to me, but, you know, I knew him from a distance, and he was another furry, so I took the steps, and I tried to do this. So, I'm in the middle of it, and I'm having a problem of getting so I'm, like, stuttering. I'm stuttering like a person like me who has this problem. And then my anxiety starts to act up. I mean, it literally starts to, I'm breathing heavy, I'm sweating, and I'm just not feeling all good, okay? And that's the one problem that happens with introverts, is that eventually you're going to be in this anxiety attack situation. Now, if you're having the anxiety attack and you are definitely having problems with it, number one, you want to walk away from that situation. Now, I don't mean completely go off the face of the earth and you never come back and you're never going to deal with this problem again, because you want to talk to this person. So what you do is you first take a step back. I'm going to take a step back right now. Okay, well actually I willed back, but whatever. So I'm taking a step back, number one. Composure. Okay, so I read online that you can count from 10 to 1, count down. That doesn't really work for me. I'm not going to say it does for everybody, but that doesn't work for me. I've also heard online, like, I have the list up here. Let me just try to find it here. Let's see. I have it right here. Tricks on how to get it. So then there's the one that I don't like, and that's the one, again, you just totally leave the situation and then you never come back and then you just do it. That's not solving anything. That just means that your anxiety is going to be worse the next time you see him. If I walk out of a place because I have anxiety attacks 90% of the time, and if it's very important to me to do this, and I try to do it again, I'm going to have anxiety attacks, even worse, because I'm going, well, this time I'm not going to be, they're not going to even know me. I'm going to be like, oh. So don't do that. I don't agree with this website and what it says. Don't do that, because anxiety can happen anywhere. It can happen with money. It can happen on your interview. It can happen anywhere that might be important. So I don't recommend with this website at all. So, but if you have panic disorder or lose control of yourself, what are some anti-tricks? I'm just trying to see if I can find. I can't really read in this thing, so I apologize for my lack of reading skills because I can't really see out of it. So, there's the count to 10 trick, which really kind of doesn't work for me. There is thinking of a calm moment. Now, this one can be very different. It's like the Happy Place. I don't know if anybody ever saw Happy Gilmore. And you know how he was golfing and he was having anxiety with the putting, and he was like going, get into a hole, and starting yelling. Some people can do this. They can imagine some other place, step back, imagine a happy place or just a relaxing place that really, calms their nerves, and then they can get back into a conversation. I mean, it doesn't really work for me because I really don't have that happy. I mean, I guess hockey, I guess I could pretend I'm a goalie, but I'd be awkward if I'm like doing that. So that's one way that you can do it. Let's see, I have other examples here on doing it. Let's see. Take deep breaths. You can always do that. That sometimes works for me. If I'm having a problem with my anxiety, if I can take some deep breaths and just calm it down. Calm it down. And it sometimes works for me, sometimes doesn't. I'm not going to say it's a perfect prescription for me, and stuff like that. There's a couple other ways that they do it. Learn to know your panic signs. That's a good one. Okay, so if you're going into an anxiety and you know it, and you feel uncomfortable, you feel like you're going to pass out, you feel like you're sweating a lot, these are all signs that can cause anxiety. So before anxiety hits, the best thing to do is for you to step back. Now, you're not going to always recognize it. I'm going to tell you that right now. You'll be in the middle of it, and you'll be like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to just, So you always have to make sure you know your signs of it. Like me, I start breathing heavy, and I get a little bit of sweat going down my face because it's just an anxiety thing that I've dealt with almost all my life, and I know that it sometimes affects different people in different ways. So that's just my signs. Try to find your signs so you can recognize it, step back, and try to, you know, calm yourself. Let's see. Taking responsible to figure out what you're afraid of. So basically that one is, if you're afraid of something, don't do it. But you can't do that. I'm sorry, but if you're in the middle of an interview, you have to do an interview. I hate interviews. They do really make me anxiety, like, but I have to do it. I need this job. I need it to survive. I need it to do things. So just because you know it's going to cause your anxiety, try to do it. It's conquering like your fear. Not like your fear. It is your fear. You're having anxiety over it. Try to conquer it. You can do it. You just got to have that, you know, I can do it. I can do it. Believe in yourself. You got to believe to achieve, to accomplish your goals. And I agree with that 100%. I've always agreed with that. So, yeah, just make sure that you're doing that. Okay? Don't just walk away because it's too anxiety. You've got to figure out a way to calm it down. Now, I know that there's a bunch of different ways, and that's what I'm trying to do right now, is give you a couple different ways, and maybe it can help you out in the future. So, check facts. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Discuss and take some actions to tracking each fear. So, that's a good one. What it basically means is if I know this is going to fear me, try to get that right mindset. And again, like I said, you can do it in your head, or try to get the right mindset by, you know, trying to talk to yourself to, I wish I can explain this better. I'm not a doctor, guys. I'm trying to explain this really well. But it's hard because I have the same problem too. I have the anxiety and all this other stuff that causes me from doing this. So, let's see, sell yourself on a positive outcome. See, that's another one. Always think positive. If you think positive, you're going to be getting more of a positive vibe. Okay, let's just say I'm a Debbie Downer and I go in there going, this person's not going to like me. I'm going to have a terrible time with this person. That's just going to cause more anxiety for me because I'm already thinking in my mindset that I'm going to fail. And I think a lot of anxiety has a problem of fear to fail. That where you're going to talk to somebody you either you really like. That's why a lot of teenagers have problems talking to each other now. It's the fear of, what if she says no? What if he says no? What if he doesn't like me? What if she doesn't like me? And if you go into that attitude of thinking this, you're not going to be getting anyone to like you except for nobody. You're not even going to like yourself. You're going to go in there and you're going to be like, yeah, she doesn't like me. I got to go. So, and it causes more anxiety. And I've been there 150 million times that where, you know, I wasn't thinking positive, but you got to think positive. Positivity creates more positivity in yourself and to others. And that's why I don't always agree with the texting method. I like texting. Texting is great, but it doesn't give you the same feelings as talking to someone one-on-one. Now, it's one of those things, too, that if you are constantly texting, it doesn't give the same exact feel as talking one-on-one. And that's why a lot of people have problems now, is because they're texting, they're not getting that raw emotion, the feeling, the cues. Body language is very key to conversations, and not a lot of people get that anymore. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, texting. I think sometimes that you should put down your phone and try to talk to somebody in real life. Try to get over that before it becomes too much of a problem. Because I can text somebody all day and not feel one bit of anxiety. But if I go and talk to somebody out in the real world And, you know, like at a furry convention, that's when I go, I don't know what to say. And it happens to everyone. It happens to everyone. And that's why I think it's so important for you to actually talk to them, get a communication going. Even talking on the phone will help. You know, if you have that long buddy, that friend who's chatting online all the time, ask the Skype call. Get him engaged too, so you can practice this. Because your friends are going to be the ones to help you get over it. Well, not get over it, but help you push on to the next stage of it. So, because you can't get over this. I'm telling you right now, you can't get over this. I know personal experience. You can't get over it. You can, again, have steps to help yourself with it, but you're never going to get over it. And that's the problem with people. They don't understand it, especially a lot of experts or that where they think, well, you're just not in the mood to talk. Well, that's not true. I have problems. I have problems talking to people. I have huge problems talking to people. And I wish I could go up to somebody and tell them how I feel or how other people feel. And it's just so hard to get over. You can't just say get over it. You can't. Now, there's some things I can agree that you can get over. You know, if you eat a bunch of cookies and you get fat, you need to get over your fatness. But you can't get over being an introvert. You can't get over anything like that. You can't. So let me see if I have any more comments here. And we're going to keep talking about this. And maybe give some more tips on how to help you. I've got a bunch of tips online. And do research yourself too. Just start, you know, let's get some more people in here if you know somebody in there. Okay, so let's see if we have any more, if we have any questions. I don't talk. I'm a ninja. Oh, that's a good one. Stay quiet. If you're a ninja, I guess you don't have inverted because you don't talk. That's a good answer. Good answer. Dex. Let's see. Do we have any other questions? One new. Nothing really. You're awesome. Thank you. If you practice the action one step at a time. Very true. So, now, okay, again, I'm going to plug. Please subscribe to my channel. If you're liking this, share it around to your friends. If you have an invert that really needs help getting over this hump, you can send them my way and I'll try to help. Okay, so, now, we identified what anxiety is. Now, anxiety can happen at any time in your fear zone. It's a fear zone that is literally undescribable except for you. You can try to describe it to people like I try to, but I can't get it across well enough because you're not in my mind and I'm not in your mind. So, a perfect example would be an interview. A lot of people have problems getting over anxiety in interview situations. Now, let's say I am the boss and you're going in there and you are going, well, excuse me, boss, I don't know what oh, okay. So you're already bad on him because you can't get a good conversation. So the steps that are necessary to help you with your not just invert, but anxiety is number one, you got to go in there again with a positive attitude. So I'm going to get this job, I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to fill it, and I'm going to get it. I can do it. So that's the very first one. Confidence is key to any sort of getting rid of anxiety. Okay, number two is it's about the same exact thing about invert. If you get to know the person before going into this interview, like let's say you have a chance to say, oh, what will I be doing here? What seems... I can't speak because I'm getting very nervous because I'm filling. But, so, breaking the ice is very important in any sort of interview. So if you see something that you really like on them or in their office or anything, again, tell them, oh, I like cars too. That's amazing. I can't believe that. Great. So you're getting a chance to get over your anxiety. Now, let's say you're during the middle of the interview and you basically are having anxiety attacks and you're going, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. So you can't really step back in this situation because you're in the middle of an interview and you're talking to a person right across from you. What I always do is I always take the time to think of what I'm going to say. If you think what you're going to say, it should properly come out of your mouth. Not all the time. I've thought about things to say and I completely butchered them. But if you think of what you say and just get distracted from another person, it's all a mindset. So if I'm in the middle of an interview and I start feeling a little bit of panic, I always go, okay, he's asking me a question. Just get focused on that. Don't focus on anything else, because you can't get focused on anything else, because if you do, then you're going to be like, well, what? And they don't like what. So focus on him and take a deep breath. Just, whoo, whoo. Just because if you take that deep breath, it's going to calm your nerves. It's just going to relax you. Does it work for everyone? No. But calming your nerve is number one and key. So when they ask you the question, think about that question and answer appropriately. Like, yes, I'll make a fine fox. Fishes are great to me. So there you go. I just answered your question and I'm calming down as it's going on. And I'm also getting to know the person too. It's breaking the ice that people have problems with. Breaking the ice is very important in a conversation. So just want to break that ice, try to find common interest. So that's what I do during interviews. So what I'm going to do now, since we are up to the 46 mark, and you probably heard my voice way too much, and you're like, my God, I want him to just be quiet now. Unless if you like my voice, then thank you. I appreciate it. You're in that lower percentile. So I want you to call in. Now, will it be hard if you have introverts? Yes, it will be very hard for you to call in. But I want you to call in and try to get over some of these fears. And tell me what you would do in a situation. And try to just keep that positive attitude. Keep it going. Flow it. I'm a furry. You can talk to me about anything. I'm not going to get mad or anything like that. So, if you want to call in, my phone number is 717-839-3684. That's 1717-839-3684. And you can get a good conversation going. We can talk about something that you have a fear of. And you again, if you're liking this, please share this around to your people that you know who have introvert problems. And maybe we can help them, because that's all I really want to do with this video. I'm trying to help people. And I know it's hard whenever you say the word introvert and you're saying all this other stuff to it. Anxiety. Not a lot of people like talking about anxiety, but it happens to the best of us. It happens to me a lot because I have a problem with talking with people. And we will try to, we'll try to help you. And that's all I want to do in this video. I want to try to help you. I have problems with it, and I know you guys have problems with it. Some of your friends have problems with it. Being an invert is really hard. And having anxiety is really hard to deal with. So again, if you want to call in, my phone number is 1717-839-3684. And we could talk about what you have problems with so I can try to help you guys out or anything like that. So we discussed what being an introvert is. And being an introvert means that you're not really confident about talking with people. You have the fear of failing. And it's a huge fear. You're not just going to get over with it by one psychiatrist or, one therapy. You're never going to get over this. It's the fear of talking to people. And it's hard sometimes to really get over the fact why people go, well, you got to get over it. And you can't. You can't do that. And I wish you could. I really wish you could, but I can't. I can't do that. I have anxiety issues. And that's why I bought a fursuit. So let's see if we have any questions in the comments and keep going with the talking and stuff like that. Good evening to all. Hello. How are you doing today? Husky. Let's see. Oh, right, Gray, come home. Share your video on Twitter. Oh, I probably should do that. I should probably share it on the tweeters. I'll do that right now as we move along. So you guys can call in, let me know on one of your experiences with some anxiety and introvert issues. You can definitely talk to me. I'm a very good person, and I try to give the most honest answers I possibly can. So if you want to call in, my phone number, I'll actually put it down here, and we could talk about that and stuff. I think that until we wait for a phone call to happen, and let's see here. So let's see. Any questions or comments that people want to ask? I'm a stream. Nope, nothing really going on right here. Let's do this first too. I forgot to share it on the tweeters. I mean the Facebook too. So basically, here's what it is. Being an introvert or being any sort of problem with this, and a lot of people have it. If you think you're the only one who has problems that you can't talk to people, there's plenty of people out there. So number one, try to find a friend. It's always good to talk to people when it comes to stuff like this. It could be a friend, a relative, it could be your next door neighbor, it could be anybody. So being an introvert makes it hard to really talk to people who aren't in the same exact interest as you, because you already get your doubts in your mind that they already hate you. They just can't. For some reason in your mind, the world is going to end because you said the wrong thing. And that's the frame of mindset that a lot of people have the problems with, is that if you end up screwing up a sentence, like let's say you say talk instead of walk, you're like, my God, I'm done. I can't be here anymore. And then you want to just leave. That's where the anxiety comes in. And the one thing is it's all about a mindset. If you go into a conversation, number one, if you talk into a mirror, have a mirror present, you're talking to that mirror. You're just talking to yourself. Or if you have that best friend that you know you can talk to, ask him personal questions that might make you feel uncomfortable to some other people. Because it's all about helping each other to get a better result when it comes to being an introvert. So if you're talking into your mirror and you're talking to your friend and you keep saying to yourself, I'm not going to be, it's not going to be the end of the world if I screw up. It's not going to be the end of the world if I screw up. And before you get to them, practice what you're going to say. Like, how's your day? Oh, that's great. My day's good. How about yours? Oh, that's great. It's all about a mindset. And it's hard to get over the mindset. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm not going to be like, hey, you're just going to wake up one day and it's going to be gone. Wow. No, it's never going to go away. But you can help it. You can help your anxiety to the point where you might be able to get up to somebody and talk to them normally without having the anxiety attacks, without having it. And it's hard when you really like somebody or you really, really want something and you just really want it. And that's where the anxiety comes in, is the fear to fail. And I know I keep saying it, but fear to fail is the number one problem that people have with being an introvert. I know, well, I don't know. Maybe I can't say that. I'm not going to say that because I don't know everybody. I don't know everybody in the world. But I'm going to say that's my number one problem. Being an introvert is. It's the fear of failing and the fear of, completely screwing it up and nobody liking me. So that's my fear of being an introvert. So if you want to call in, talk about your introvert problems or talk about some other problems that you might be having, the phone number is 1717-839-3684. And you can call in, talk about some problems that you may have. You know, try to have a practice conversation with me if you want to. I will not bite. My teeth might say otherwise, but I will not bite. And we can talk about situations that, you know, maybe I can help you guide. So let's see. Let me paste the phone number again here. I think I did it earlier, but that's the phone number, guys. I just put it out there again. Now, again, everybody's different. Not everybody has anxiety attacks all the time, and not everybody has problems with talking to people. There's a lot of experts out there who can talk until the cow comes home and moves, and you can talk all day and not have a problem with anyone. Unfortunately, that's not the whole world. And that's exactly why I did this video, because I know there's people out there who have problems talking. I know that there's people out there who have anxiety issues. But you have to take the responsible action. Like, you know, I always try to tell people, you know, I have anxiety really bad, but you have to take it and you got to do it. It might not be the easiest thing out there. It might not be the, you know, it might cause you to have a lot of problems, but you got to try. You got to try to make it better. Try to get yourself. And that's why, again, you know, instead of always texting, you know, make that phone call to somebody. Just say hello. How are you today? And all that other wonderful things. And you just gotta try, you know, because that's what we have to do here. We have to try to get over it. You're not going to fully get over it. You're not going to. If you would fully get over this, then there'd be people out there who were talking every single day and being like, hey, what's up, babe? Okay. No. You're not going to fully get over it, but you can try to get some of it under control to where you can do it. Where you can do it. Not perfect, but where you can keep it sustainable. That's the whole entire goal here, is to keep it sustainable. So it doesn't interfere everyday life. So again, the number is, the number is 1717-839-3684. We can talk about this. We could talk about something else. I am going to a convention, guys. I will be at Furrydelphia Saturday. So if you want to say hello to me, or, you know, if you want to, you know, try to do whatever, you can say hello to me, or I will respond to you. Probably in fursuit, because you don't know what I'm look outside of fursuit. Hopefully not. So that's why I always wear it. So let's see here. Can't find my mouse here and stuff like that. So I talked a lot about the anxiety, how to help with anxiety, but let's try to talk about a little bit. Let's see what the internet has to say about being an introvert. And so I came across this one thing, and it's called How to Talk to People. And it's very interesting. And it gives a lot of the highlight information that I've already did. So what I always do is I have a method to my anxiety problems, and I try to do this. Okay, so if I see somebody out in the, you know, street, or somebody who I really want to talk to because they look nice, they look friendly, you always got to pick that right person. And I know this is what the article says. It goes from right person, and, you know, approaching someone you know, obviously you got to always do that and stuff. Which, it's a lot easier to approach somebody you know than somebody you don't know. And that's the whole entire thing that a lot of people have problems with. It's the people who do not know each other that make it hard to talk. I have this problem at furry conventions too, that where I don't know the person that well, so I will try to talk to him, but I'll try to talk to him with another person around too, so I can get to know them and also get, have the benefit of knowing somebody around. That's actually another good tip of mine. If you want to talk to somebody and you really are more nervous about it, try grabbing a friend and talking to him with them. So the friend will help you and coincide with you. Because if you know somebody, it's easier to talk to the person that you don't know to, because that person who knows you can talk about you and get a good conversation going. So, I'm getting really hot here. Let me get a drink here. But I'm hoping people call in soon. I'll probably end the show at 1:30. So let me just get a drink here. If I can.
1 3 5 2 4 5 4 5 7,
as soon as I drink.
0.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much.
Nothing much? So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, so far,
Okay.
I'm kind of a closed person.
Okay.
I don't really have that many friends. Johnny is my only friend.
Okay. So, this is probably hard for you right now, right?
Yeah, it's very.
Okay. So, first thing I want you to do is tell yourself that everything was going to be okay. I want you to say it out loud.
Okay.
If you can. If it's okay. I get the exact same way as you. Everybody does. It's the problem of getting a conversation going, I think, becomes a problem. And right now, the way I feel whenever it comes to anybody new I talk to, right? And you're new to talk to. If I didn't have my fursuit on right now, I'd be the same exact way as you. But if just you always got to try to break that ice and just relax, right? So
That's what Johnny always says to me.
yeah.
Find something to break the ice and talk.
Yeah. So let me try to break the ice, and we'll try to do it. What's your fursona?
It's a wolf husky mix.
A wolf half husky mix. Okay. It sounds really nice. I think it looks great. Probably. I noticed you were chatting to Johnny on here and stuff. Is he your best friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, see, what I'm doing is I'm asking questions that might break the ice with you, and so we can talk more. What about, do you have any favorite fursuiters out there?
One of them is a guy called Flashhound.
Flashhound. Sounds nice. I've never heard of him before, but he must be nice if you really like him. So, now, if you're having problems with anxiety, tell me a little bit about that. Like right now, you're in your mind. I want to try to, because I have problems talking about myself. I really do. So, how do you feel about a regular conversation?
I find them sort of hard. I kind of get jittery and kind of want to walk away.
Okay, do you feel that the whole world is against you when you're talking to somebody, or do you feel like, if you say the wrong thing, they all hate you?
Yeah, kind of both.
Kind of both. Okay. So, now, I know the feeling. I feel like that too. So, the best strategies on doing this is just relax. I know Johnny says it to you 100 times, but it's a good strategy. Take a deep breath. And compose yourself and think about what you're going to say. That's my advice to you. Now, do you talk to Johnny on the phone or do you text him?
We've been texting, but he's been trying to help me while talking on the phone.
Now, this is exactly what happens to me. You get the stutters. You start to feel a little bit nervous and stuff like this. And it's a mindset thing, right? So I'm starting to get it now too. But it's one of those things that my recommendation to you, because you seem like a very nice person. You really do. You seem like a great guy. Like, I'm telling you, you seem like a really nice guy. So, try to talk to yourself in the mirror. When nobody else is around, and get some conversations going. Don't, people always say you're crazy if you answer yourself, but I don't think so. Especially when it comes to conversations with other people, because people answer you back too. So, my best advice to you is trying to talk into a mirror and get that right frame of mind. Now, is it going to work for you? Who knows? It works for me. It works a lot better for me. So I don't know if it's going to work for you, but because right now I'm kind of doing a lot of talking too. So can you tell me a little bit how you feel right now? Like, if you feel like, you don't want to talk anymore, I'll be fine if you hang up. I'm not going to, say anything bad about that. So, I'm trying to give a good answer. I'm starting to ramble on, and I don't like it. It's terrible. So, you said you had a good fursona. You really like Flash, right? She sounds like a great guy.
Yeah.
Can you describe him for me?
He is a really nice guy. He does streaming on Twitch. I always want to comment on his videos, but I'm kind of afraid to.
Okay. Now, what are you most afraid about on commenting his videos?
I'm kind of afraid to post something wrong that he might not like.
Okay. And, that's exactly how I feel most of the time. If I post something and, it makes you feel terrible, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So, now, what kind of videos does he do?
He does a lot of streaming on Twitch, and he does golfing games and just a lot of gaming.
Okay. Okay. What's your favorite game?
My favorite game is Sonic.
Okay. Okay. So it seems like you're getting a little bit more comfortable by the reaction time. You went from, you're doing a great job, by the way. I want to let you know you're doing a fantastic job. Now, would you say, what do you like about Sonic?
I love the aspect of it.
Okay.
The different levels and the different bosses and stuff.
Okay. Again, you're doing great. Got a couple more questions for you, and see, again, this you're getting better. I can tell you're starting to really talk a little bit more, and I'm enjoying that because you sound like a really nice guy. So you sound like a great guy. Now, do you have any other favorite video games?
Another favorite video game is also what Johnny likes. It's Pac-Man.
Pac-Man? Can you
Yeah.
Can you name me all the ghosts?
It's been a while. I know there's Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and one more that I always forget.
I can't remember. I know you're right so far, so you're absolutely right on all those. It's that, I think it's the red one. I always get confused on the red one. It's the smartest one of the bunch, too. It always gets me. It's always the one that gets me. Nothing else, but that one red guy on it gets me, like, a lot. So, yes, I know, I do like Pac-Man. Now, one last question, and, hopefully this is helping you get over your fear here, because I'm trying to really help people out, and just, so, again, you're doing a fantastic job, just to let you know, and just fantastic. Okay, so, oh shoot, are you going to any conventions this year?
No.
No.
I don't have enough money to travel.
Okay. Again, you're starting to get better. I'm starting to hear good things now. What con would you love to go to?
I'd love to go to Megaplex.
Okay. Now, how far away are you from Megaplex?
Around about a mile or so.
Okay. Okay. Good. It's good to hear. You sound great, man. I mean, you sound great. You're getting better. And see, this is the best way to do it. And again, practice in that mirror. Ask questions. The best way to get over a fear is if you're talking to yourself. Because yourself is, you're not going to be as judgmental to yourself as you feel. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I wish I could explain it better. But I would definitely talk into a mirror. And you sound like a great guy. I would love to talk to you more. Eventually. If we ever get a chance to. Maybe more on the show. If you ever want to call in again. You sound like you're a great guy. And
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And, it's one of those things that you're not going to get over instantly. I still have problems. And, you know, the anxiety, the feeling of you're going to do something wrong is tremendously scary. So what I want you to do is I also want you to, whenever you talk to Johnny, talk to him on how you feel. Because sometimes if you express your feelings, it makes you feel better in the long run. So, I really hope you get better. I know you're going to try. And that's all we can hope for you, man. Because you're not going to get over it, like, instantaneously. But you can take steps to try to get over it a little bit. Not completely, but a little bit. So, but it was nice talking to you.
Same to you.
Good. There you go. I'm gonna hang up, and I just want you to remember you're a good guy.
So are you.
Well, thank you. I try. So, have a nice night.
You too.
Now, you see, that's what anxiety does. It's an anxiety mixture of introverts and the anxiety that makes you afraid to talk. Because that guy sounded like a great guy. It's hard to get over the hump, though. It's a hump that is so hard to get over, it makes you freeze. And it makes you go, what am I going to say so he doesn't have a problem with me? And that guy, I gotta say, it was a very nice guy. He made me a little bit anxiety just talking to him, but it takes a while, but you can eventually get to the point where you're having a conversation, because he started out barely talking, and then by the end he was talking a little bit smoother, talking without the So, and I feel like he was doing a good job. And it takes a while for you to do this. You're not going to wake up again one morning and go, I'm free of it. It's all good. And then start hugging people and, no, you're not going to do that. But you can take steps to try to help yourself get it. By breaking the ice, by talking about common interests, and doing all this other stuff. And my nerves, exactly what he said, that's my nerves. It's a nerve issue of being nervous and trying to get the emotions out. And that's why I think it's important to talk to people who have around the same exact thing as you and talking about your feelings. I sound like a psychiatrist now, but it's true. It works. Talking about your feelings works. It's a weird description of it, but it's true. It's true. It's a weird way to explain things, but it will help you in the long run. By talking about it and getting yourself to the confidence of trying to do it. So, again, if you want to call in and maybe, have a conversation about this, if you have any tips yourself, you can call in, let me know about some of the tips that you want to give to people who have the nervousness. I think I'm getting another phone call. I don't know exactly who. It's from Telegram. It's Sean. I don't know who it is. I can't see out of my fursuit, guys. Let me, well, it's somebody, so let me answer it here. Can you hear me?
Dashing, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Not too bad. Is it acceptable?
Telegram?
Is it acceptable to call you on Telegram?
It's acceptable.
Or should I use a different source?
No, you're fine. Telegram works. I just didn't know who... I had my screen down really low because I'm using my phone gigs. And I
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
I got a little bit better mic with Telegram because I'm using a G1 Sennheiser.
Okay.
That way your people can actually hear me.
Okay.
Thank you for taking the call.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that there is hope for you and everybody else that experiences anxiety, because I've had to deal with it 20 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
And now mine came from an injury, a serious physical injury.
Okay.
So when John came on and talked about it and how you deal with it, I still to this day talk to myself in the mirror.
Yeah. I do the same exact thing. I talk in the mirror. I think talking in the mirror makes you more confident about yourself, because if you practice and practice it, it's not going to be as scary as going in there with a fresh slate, as I always call it. You know, and where you're like, oh, hello, oh. So, I agree with you 100%, and I'm glad somebody else agrees with my theory of doing it. I'm glad.
Well, it only works for us. Finding that one thing that works for other things is hard, but finding it is the key.
It really is. It takes a while. You've got to do a bunch of different things to try to cope with it. I've tried a couple different techniques with it, like, you know, I feel good, I feel great. It kind of worked for me. Didn't work as well as the mirror trick. The thinking sometimes helps for people. Me, I overthink, and I get stressed out when I think, and it stresses me out when I think way too much. So, doesn't work for me, but it could work for others. I mean, there's plenty of different tricks. There, what is it? Yeah, many different ways to skin a cat, but you got to find that right one that's good for you.
My term on it is there are many ways to skin a cat. All of them are right, but none of them are very efficient.
Yeah.
Unless it's good.
Yes.
So even if you find one way that does work for you, it might not. You're not looking at the most efficient one, but it might work for you.
Yeah.
And that's what you go with.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. So,
all right. Now, I said in chat, there is hope.
yes.
I also said earlier in this conversation that 20 years ago, I experienced severe anxiety.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So that I could not go into public for nearly 4 years.
It's pretty bad.
I was electrically shocked. My body was subject to 277 volts.
Ooh.
And a full 60 amps of electricity. My nerve endings are completely fried, meaning if you come up to hug me, I only get half the sensation that you would from a normal hug. It scrambled my brain. It burnt the sac around my heart. I could barely move for about a month.
Wow.
It took over a year of rehabilitation to do that. I could not be in public at all. It was an overwhelming sensation. All the inputs around you, every little movement of some somebody moving, every little movement or even saying of it, even a child, like looking to their mother, etc., messed with my head.
Oh.
God, I lost so much on just movie trivia. It was nuts.
So, that sounds tragic. Like, I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Nobody should really.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that does sound tragic. Again, I don't know what the like. Wasn't expecting this heart wrenching stuff coming my way, but no, that's sorry, I deal with stuff.
There's hope.
Yeah, and you know, you're right. There is hope. The only way you're going to do it though is do it yourself. You know, you can't expect every situation to be dealt with somebody else by your side. It's you've got to recognize the problem, and you've got to try to, you know, not fix it. You're not going to completely fix it. There's no completely fixing this, but you can get through a conversation without having the problem of that. You can get through a bunch of different things. Interviews, you know, talking to people out in the street and stuff like this. There's hope for that, but it takes the individual to try to help himself. You know, they always say you could take medicine for it. Well, medicine doesn't work all the time. You can't always get a medicine that cures the thing that you have. It might create something worse that you don't want in the first place. So
you might grow an extra prostate.
Well, okay, maybe that's a little bit too much. No, but I mean that you.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, you're not going to solve everything with a tiny pill, and that's the problem with nowadays, where you get all these doctors who go, well, I can prescribe a pill for that. Well, anxiety, it doesn't just take a pill to do it. It takes you to actually physically think about it, and you got to think of a way to get it on your own. So, and I'm glad that you did it. You must have found that right trick that helps you, and not a lot of people can find that right trick. It's sometimes a hard trick to
Correct.
find. But it takes a while. But if you can try to solve it, try to solve it. You know, don't just do it. It's going to go away soon. It's never going to go away unless if you deal with it first. So.
Well, it never goes away.
No.
It does still crop up.
Yes.
Especially in situations you don't have experience with.
Oh my gosh.
Because once that comes in, you're like, oh Christ, what do I say? What do I do? How do I say it? Where do I go?
Yes.
Master of the English language, or the language that you use, is very important. And that's where it comes back with practicing in the mirror, looking at how your lips move, how your body language moves, how you want to portray yourself. If you come off as an asshole, you will come off as an asshole.
Yeah.
If you're a hockey player that comes in to the field and you're a bruiser, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Your gloves are coming off.
Yep.
And you're beating the guy to the ground.
Well, of course.
You're in the penalty box for 5 minutes for fighting, etc. Knowing and how to talk to somebody, where to go from it, is that important thing. And that same thing where you talked about the basics, talking to them, breaking the ice. Okay, how's your day going?
Yeah.
You get input from the other person. You're just not walking, because it's very especially hard for an introvert to talk to another person.
Oh, it is.
You can't read them. Most introverts don't read other people. That's a skill that they can't learn.
Yeah.
Eventually.
and I agree with you 100% with body language. Body language is key to any sort of conversation. They say body language is in 90% of any sort of language. If you have a sort of body language that finds you intimidating or anything like that, that's a problem within itself, and it can cause those emotions in your head to really screw you up. And it comes back to the, finding the signs of it. It's like people with Asperger's. They don't understand emotion. Emotion to them is literally nothing. They can't understand it. It doesn't go in their brain like somebody with Asperger's or autism. My sister had a darnest time until I think about a couple years ago when she actually started to get the help. And she used to have problems with body language and emotion. So you could cry right in front of her and she'll go, I don't understand what's going on in front of me. So, but it takes time. And I got to give props to her. She really took the time to be like, I got to learn this. And she did. She went through therapy. She went through a couple different other tactics that they teach now. And now she's starting to really know what love is and starting to understand what emotion is. It just takes time. You've got to learn. It's learning a whole new body language. It's a whole new language within itself. And
Okay.
And that's why I always say start out on the phone. There's no body language. It's just pure
And
talk.
see, what John was talking, and what you're talking about, John, now you're completely opening up in this conversation, because now we have common ideas, etc., what's going on, and we're talking about the subject, discussing, we're conversing.
Yeah. And see, that's why I like taking phone calls, because it helps me discuss in a better way. I can't always...
You hit me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. You did.
I was the guy who called off of his front porch and called you about the different conversations we had about like using 3D printers, etc.
Yeah.
So I'm still watching.
Oh, it's good.
I'm still watching.
Good. So I'm glad you're watching.
There is a hope. There is a hope on the end game of it.
Yes.
It takes a while, but it is worth it.
Oh.
I've been able to do now public speaking. I'm able to take charge at work. I know for a fact you work at a seafood counter behind a meat counter.
Yeah.
I'm a deli worker. I work the meat counter. I work the seafood counter. My husband comes from the very first place in America as its first seaport.
Wow.
Gloucester, Massachusetts.
Wow.
So knowing and being educated in what you are is the first step.
And I have to...
Don't trust a doctor.
No.
Look around.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got a good doctor, that's one thing. Look around.
Yeah. It's not always about a pill that's going to save your life. It's not always about that. It's about, looking around, taking steps to help yourself. And that's the one thing.
For 2 years, they had me sleeping 14 hours a day.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Just to heal my brain.
Wow. That's crazy. And that's an understandable one, You got electrocuted. I mean, that's got to be really bad for the brain and any sort of nervous system in your body. So, well done, doctor, on that. But, it's very, you hit the nail on every sort of point. You really opened up this conversation. I'm glad that you call in. I'm glad that you do, and that's...
You're very welcome.
And I'm hoping more people eventually, get the courage, and if I get more people watching me on a regular basis, and maybe I can get more callers in, and that's the why I always try to get people to call in like you. It's a good talking point, because I don't know everything. I'm not going to know everything. I'm only a guy in a fursuit in New Jersey. Woohoo! So, the more people call in, the better reactions I can get, and the better I can maybe understand what the conversation's really about. And you're doing a good job by calling in. I really appreciate it. So, but anything else?
Hey, Dashing.
Yes.
The next time you tell me to, well, how can I put it? And I can see what you talk about as social anxiety.
Yeah.
You go, okay then.
Yeah, I say a lot of...
I understand that.
Yeah.
It's a tell.
Yes.
So when I say in private chat, hey, I'm doing this because I'm learning to work with you. That's the other thing that people need to understand, is learning the other people, learning in the conversation their tells. If they say something like, okay then, I'm going to go silent, you're going to go silent.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the conversation. It's not an end all. It just means a no.
Yeah.
A no, a failure, for what you talked about earlier, is a failure is a learning experience. Okay, it did not work.
Yeah.
Where do I go from there? Shall I try something different? If you're willing to be in what's called a conversation, not like our current president, but I'm not going to get on that.
Yeah, I don't like talking about politics on this. Sorry.
Where you go into that conversation, where you get to know that person, where you get to see them, do everything, experience it, it makes it that much better. Then you have the relationships. Like, I know I will travel 500 miles, 800 miles, or 1,000 miles to go see somebody once a year.
Wow.
Just once a year for 7 days. That's it.
Wow.
I wish they were around me the entire time. But that's not able to happen. But I'll save throughout that entire year to make it happen. So there is hope. There is goodness.
And
know that once the skills start to happen, they start to snowball. Be careful with a snowball, because you might just over snowball and go down the mountain again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
I've got to agree with you 100%. And it was nice talking to you. Hopefully we get more callers like you. And you call in and you make me think, and I like it. That's what I want. I want thinking, not just me ranting on about how,
You know who encouraged this? There's out of the chat. There's Potato, who originally came in. John.
Yeah.
Johnny, who actually encouraged John to come in. And also, let's go back, Striker Husky, let's look at the rest of the chat. Oh man, there's Dexter, there's Giovanni Fox, multiple different people that I see that come in other places. Come here.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Again, I try to bring up topics that are really important to people, and shine some light on him. And I feel like I've done my job today. I mean, I'm not the greatest at it, but I tried to do that. I can't. I don't like praising myself. I'm not a praiser of myself. So,
dude, if I went into my full story, there would be murder involved along with family deception. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. But it was...
I've seen some shit, my friend.
Yeah.
I've seen some shit. I'll let go.
Okay.
There's other people that want to call.
Hopefully.
And I know you're out there, people. I know you're out there.
Yep. It was nice talking to you, and thanks again for calling in on the Talking Dashing whatever. You get me. Have a dashing night, dude. I appreciate you calling in. So.
Always.
Have a nice night and a dashing one, and see you later. Okay. Well, that was very interesting, very insightful by him. He calls in, and it's so insightful. He must have had a lot of things go on in his life. It's amazing, and and that's why I do the call-ins. People always go, "Oh, well, why do you do call-ins?" Well, I do them because of that. I do them for your benefit. I'm not going to have all the answers, guys. I wish I could say I did, and I wish I had all the answers for you, but I do not. So that's why I always try to let people call in, give a good solid talk, and try to make them understand that they're the ones that make the show, and you guys are. I only come out with the topic. I that's the only thing I do. That's why I like it when people call in. It helps me get a better understanding of people. And just great guy. I feel sorry for him that he got electrocuted. But he seemed like he really took it well and continued on with his life. And congratulations to him. Not a lot of people do that. A lot of people give up, and he didn't. And he got over his anxiety, and not over like I told you before. You can't just get over it, because there's different situations that do pop up. And I agree with him on the body language. I agree with him 100%. Well, not 100, but I'm close to 100. But so if you guys want to call in, I will take one more call. I'm going to end this at 1:50. That's going to be the ending point of my show today. So hopefully you call in. We can get another person just like that. I'm going to see if we have any more comments here. And really try to see if anybody wants to talk. Again, if you really like my show, share it to your friends. Press that like button. And I thought I got another call. It's just Telegram. But let's see. Any other questions we have here? That's a lot. Just trying to see if there's any other questions. Not? Okay. So, again, you can call in. Give me your input. There's always some things that you can definitely improve. And he did a lot of that. And again, I'm proud of him. I'm always proud of people. But if you do like this, share it around to your friends. Maybe it can help them a little bit on their introvert problems. If you do like it, press the like button down below. I know I sound like a person who's sponsoring myself, but I am, I guess. Subscribe to me. And also, I do have a Patreon, and you can donate to that too. I always could use help with money. Sad to say, but I don't make a lot working in the seafood department, so whatever. So, we're going to continue this until 1:50. You can call in, oh, there's another caller. Oh, I didn't realize. This Telegram is really weird. So, here we go. I think it's answering it. Hopefully it answers it. Hello, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, Johnny. What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's working for him on the Telegram. You might be having some issues. Let's see. Well, for some... Yeah, I got bad signal on you. Okay, it went up to full bars. Okay, try saying something now, Johnny.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Had a little technical difficulties with Telegram, so I guess you can call me in on Telegram. I wasn't thinking of that. So you could definitely do that. I don't know how well the signal is going to be here, but hopefully it works. So what's up, Johnny?
Nothing much. Just, I love how you made this stream.
Well, I love that you watch my streams. Thank you. I try.
And I'm glad that my John called in.
Okay. That's your brother, I'm guessing? Boo. I don't know if this Telegram's going to work for you, Johnny. I don't know if we're having some...
I think you cut out.
Did I cut out? I don't know. Let's see. It says I have full bars on you right now. I don't know if it's that. You might have to just call in on the phone. Can you do that, Johnny? Might be.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Can you call on the phone, Johnny? Can you hear me, Johnny? I think
I have full bars over here.
I
don't know.
I got full bars too, which is weird. I don't understand why I can't listen to you. And I don't know. But do you want to just call on the regular phone, or can you call on the regular phone? Johnny?
I'll try the phone.
Okay, try the phone, Johnny. Give me a call in with that. Okay, he's going to try to call in with the regular phone. Oh, shoot. What the heck happened? I'm having bad signal, guys. This might not be a good sign. I think it was when people were calling in for the... I think the Telegram does not work that well. So I don't know if
3, 5, 2, 5, 7, 9, 0.
Can you hear me, Johnny?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I don't...
I just got a notification that Telegram is now updating.
Okay. Well, maybe that was it, or... kind of don't want to use Telegram. I'm having... I don't know if I'm having problems with my video now, because I don't think Telegram's the best answer to this. So, I'm going to keep going, and we're just going to pretend that didn't happen. Okay, so Johnny, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Pretty good. You are going to be my last caller of the night, Johnny. How do you feel about that?
I feel special.
Oh. So, well, do you have some tips, Johnny, on some anxiety and introvert people? Or, you know, maybe help them out, you know, stuff like that?
John is one of many of my friends that does not only suffer from anxiety, but also is introverts.
Yes. Okay.
And so what I give to him and a lot of other my friends is what you say. Talk in the mirror. It's always good.
Of course.
And of course the normal icebreakers as well as what's up, hey, how are you, or wonderful weather, or it's very windy out. hopefully it doesn't rain or storm or anything.
Okay. Now, that's a great idea. That's exactly what that's what I do with myself, and it helps me out a lot. Again, out there, might not help you out exactly, but it might help your friends or somebody you know. So I agree with you 100%. I also look at the other caller, and the body language is important too. Always have an upbeat body language. You know, if you betray being a jerk, you're probably going to be a jerk. So I agree with you I agree with you 100%, Johnny. I think those tips are pretty good for your friends. Any other tips that you might be able to do?
One thing I remember was the first time I met John. We met in person, and it was kind of funny because I seen him out of the corner of my eye, like raise his hand, ready to say hello or wave. Remember him putting it back down, looking down, and walking away.
Oh.
Remember, that was our first encounter.
Oh.
And I ended up turning around and saying, "Hey, what's up?" Because right away when I noticed what he did, I noticed he probably had some anxiety.
Yeah. And if you do see somebody with anxiety like that, I have this problem too. And, you know, I get all the sweating, and then I feel kind of like I don't want to be there. But I think whenever you do have a friend with anxiety, is exactly what you do, is even if he does, try to get a positive, you know, keep it positive. Because a lot of people with introverts and, you know, can't be that positive are the people who, you know, that don't have a lot of upbeat friends and positive friends. That's why a lot of people online, you know, you don't see them talk that much in real life, is because they don't know how to do the body language. They don't understand the feelings that come along with it. And the positivity that you bring might help them jump into action, because they go, "Oh, well, this guy's positive. I mean, he obviously, you know, again, it's a confidence thing." And a lot of people don't have the confidence to really, you know, show the, you know, it's hard to explain. I wish I could explain it better, but yeah. So Johnny, your very first encounter with your friend John, what would you say you did that was different? Did you do anything different for him, or did you try to help him in a different way? You know, so.
Well, I started off kind of subtle with my, of course, icebreakers. Because what I noticed is what a lot of my friends with anxiety have, is they'll have their hands on their side, and they'll use one finger and start tapping their thigh as they're, like, getting nervous. So what I did was, "Hey, how are you?" And, of course, he was like you when he called, was very quiet, didn't talk so much. But throughout the 5-minute conversation we had, he opened up more and more and was able to talk more.
And that's exactly why I kept asking him questions and being positive about my questions, is because usually if you have a friend who can talk to something that you like and what they like, it really helps you out on understanding the person at a different level than, "Oh, he's just a guy who's over there." So that's a very good point. And you obviously were upbeat. You kept asking him some questions that he might like, and yeah, that's a good point, Johnny. I mean, that is really good. So, but the one thing that introverts, I think, my opinion, Johnny, is they have that fear to fail. The anxiety kicks in. Their body language isn't all that upbeat, and you also have all the world's against you, and now since somebody's talking to you, you don't want to say the wrong thing to scare them away, or or they'll try to run and hide or do something like that. So the way you approached it, Johnny, I think you did it the right way. You kept an upbeat attitude. You were talking about things that he likes instead of just what you like. I think that's a very good thing that you did, Johnny. So, sorry for me talking and rambling all the time, but I'm sorry.
No worries. I see in chat, I remember that, John. I remember when his phone went off, and it was a familiar sound that I had on my phone too. It was, I forgot the game, it's pretty old, but it was for mobile. And that went off, and I said, "Oh, you play that game too?" And that was our started our conversation about video games and everything. Oh. And then we talked about it, and that's when I learned he loved Pac-Man as well.
Oh. Well, see, again, it's all about common ground, and it seems like you seem like a good guy, Johnny. I'm glad you have a friend like John. So, but
he is great, but you've got to, just like me, you've got to take some time and understand him and talk to him.
That you just described most of everyone in the world. You've got to take the time to talk to him and be a good friend and always be there. And it seems like you're always there for him, and if he wants to talk about some sort of feeling that's not is bothering him, it seems like he can go and talk to you, and that's a great thing to have, Johnny. That's called a real friend. And a lot of introverts have that problem of finding that real friend, so I think you did the right thing, Johnny. You seem like a great guy.
Yeah, and I think one thing that actually almost broke him down was when his dad had to move to a different state for a job, and he was no longer going to be close to me, so he was breaking down everything and freaking out, and that's when I gave him my phone number so we can stay in contact and so he can be fine, just breathe and talk to me whenever.
Well, there you go. And again, you're a real friend, Johnny. You seem like a really good guy, and I hope you continue with your friendship of John. And I would love to stay and chat more, but we've been going on for almost 2 hours now, Johnny. So
no worries. Love your live streams, by the way.
Thank you. I try. I'm the best. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, right. But thank you. I really appreciate it, Johnny, of you calling in. And I hope to talk to you later.
I hope to talk to you in another live stream.
Yep, and have a dashing night. Thank you for watching.
You too.
Thank you. Well, that was the good guy called Johnny. I want to finish up this live stream because it's going on 2 hours. Unless if somebody else wants to call in who's brand new. The phone number is 1717-839-3684. You can call in and talk about your anxiety issues, your introvert problems, or anything like that. I kind of want to end on a good note here. It's always hard to get over your anxiety, your you're talking to people and having a problem, but there is hope. I'm going to go back to the one caller. There is hope out there. What might work for me might not work for you 100%. But you could try a bunch of different things, but it might eventually start helping you if you find that right thing and stick to it. And I know it will be hard. It will be extremely, extremely hard. But as soon as you can do it, sorry, I'm picking something. But as soon as you find that one thing that really helps you out, go for it. Don't just go for it. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe that all these callers that called in today that said they have some sort of interview, I can't think right now, anxiety issues and other issues, they solved it. A lot of them solved it. And I hope that one day, we do find a way to get over this, invert people and a bunch of other things like the anxiety. I think more people have anxiety today because, they're not used to talking people to face. So my tips for the day is, number one, subscribe. No, I'm kidding. No, number one, if you want to talk to somebody, talk to them on the phone. There's no body language. There's no chance of you really... Your brain's going to tell you that you're doing something wrong, but you've got to relax and calm it down. No body language. And it's a lot of good ways to break the ice before you actually meet them or talk to them. Number two on the list is talking to a mirror. It works for me. It works for a lot of people. Talk into a mirror and try to help yourself by practicing conversations to yourself. It sounds stupid, but if you practice enough, you'll get better at whatever you do. You will. It might take a little while, but you can get better. You can also help with anxiety by taking some steps on, preparing yourself for it when you know you're going to have it. If you have the sweats first, like I do, I have a lot of sweats. He said the anxiety was hitting him when he was patting his leg. If that's starting to happen, back up. Calm down. And then go back into a fresh mind. You can try to find a happy place. You can try to do a bunch of things to help with your anxiety. So what this episode was, in my opinion, was an episode to try to help people. And that's all I ever wanted to do from this day one of creating this. I know it sounds corny. Probably is. But please, guys, if you liked it, subscribe. Press the like button down there. I have to go because I've got work tomorrow morning. But I hope you guys have a dashing night. And again, if you have any friends that are dealing with this issue, I hope that you share it and maybe it will help them in the future. So, bye. Thank you for watching. And I hope you have a dashing night. Bye. Thank you for watching the Talking with Dashing Foxie show. I will be live again next week. Not the same time, but next week I will be live with a new topic. Bye. Thank you for watching.